Hi everyone, this is a short video with some basic reminders about using Canvas as we switch over to e-learning. If you feel pretty confident about using the rich content editor in Canvas to embed videos, create hyperlinks, use text headers, create tables, etc., if you're feeling confident about that, you might want to skip to the end of the video that shows you how to access some links that are websites beyond Canvas that will enhance student engagement with e-learning. So go ahead and skip forward to that if you're feeling confident. But if you need just a few refreshers on Canvas use as you make this transition, continue watching. All right, I'm going to toggle back between my slides and actual Canvas here. But we're talking about the rich content editor, which is the tools you can use when creating assignments in Canvas. It's really, really important that we're providing clear instructions for students as they navigate their learning tasks at home. So let's look at an example assignment here and play around with this rich content editor. Whenever we're editing an assignment, the rich content editor is this text box and menu that provides us with some options on how we present information. So I want to first start with Studio because I think as you create instructions, having video instructions will be extremely important and powerful for students to navigate their learning. So just a reminder to use Studio, we click the little blue camera screen icon and it allows you a couple of options. You can record, add, or search. Searching would be something that you've already made in Studio. Adding would be something from YouTube or an additional media file. And then recording would be to create something new. So you can either choose a webcam feature or a screen capture. Screen capture will follow what is on your device's screen. A webcam will just be you talking directly to students. If there's an assignment that students need to be able to see what's happening on the page, I recommend screen capture. But if you just have general overview instructions, I would encourage you to use webcam capture. So let's try the webcam capture for now. You'll click Start Recording. You can mute the mic if you don't want any volume, but once you start recording, it gives you a quick countdown. And now you're ready to record. So once you finish giving your instructions to students, click Finish. You can start over at any time if you would like to redo your video. And then that will show up in Canvas. Once you select your video, you can allow comments. You can display a download option, but click Insert and it should embed the video within your rich content editor. So students should be able to watch this video whenever they're ready.
And now it's starting
just
to
like that.
record. So you might.
And so what you're also going to want to think about, in addition to Studio and embedding videos, is other external tools. So this little V icon here allows you access to Google Drive. You can create links and embed Khan Academy assignments and videos, Quizlet, anything from Office 365. We don't really use that for files as much. And then of course YouTube videos can be embedded with that feature as well. So if we wanted to embed a YouTube video, you can just click that icon, search for a specific video from YouTube, and it should pull up some options that you can embed. And by clicking Embed, you can select and it should show up in your rich content editor. You also might want to consider when you're typing instructions to be intentional about paragraphs and headers. So in this drop-down menu, you can change the type of font to be a larger font, and then underneath it, it automatically switches you back to paragraph. And so you notice how it's really clear to see, okay, this is the overview of instructions, and here are the actual instructions in the text editor. And then of course you can change the font size at any point by selecting it, but I really recommend that you use a variety of text sizes because when it looks like this, it's kind of hard to tell where the instructions end and begin. So I'd encourage you to use larger headers to kind of organize information. You can even use bold as well, or underline and italics, and then put your directions underneath it. Tables are also a really great way to organize information. If you're using something like a series of buttons, so when you're using the table icon, you can, especially when you're using buttons, for example, I like to use the table just to keep my buttons from being disorganized all over the page. And so if you have an image that you've already created, you can upload it here. So for example, here's just like a science clip that I'm going to use as a button. And then I can select it, hyperlink it to either a website or a Google Doc, or if I would rather, I can also put it under a link, make the button take me to a specific page or a specific assignment, a quiz, a module. So you can pretty much link your buttons to whatever page within or outside of Canvas that you want. And whenever I'm using that for my tables for buttons, I like to go to my table properties, and I like to make my border 0 so that it looks like the button's just floating. So let's see what that looks like. So yeah, so you can see the button doesn't look like it's part of a table, but that is just floating within the page. All right, what's next? Tables, we've talked about that. Another way you can embed videos is by clicking that little film reel icon on your menu. And you can embed videos from your files. You can embed videos from YouTube. Really, you can embed it in any way that you like, just by clicking Insert Media. You should also be able to put in internet videos and media. You can also do audio files. But in general, the easiest way to embed media is to use the External Tools button. Kind of already went over the hyperlink aspect, but let's say you wanted to link text to an external document or to another page. You can click Link to URL and paste a URL there, or you can link any text to any other Canvas feature within your course. Whenever you want to break the chain or delete the link, you can click that chain there. Just a few tips for when you are using the Studio feature to make videos. A couple of helpful hints to make your video really effective for students is chunk instructions. So, use different size headers versus bodies of text in your descriptions. Make the assignment have one single learning objective or task and no more. And then I highly recommend keeping your videos for students with instructions under 6 minutes. After about 6 minutes, they're going to start to tune out. It's what the research says. So keep it under 6 minutes. Now, I've made video lectures that are longer than 6 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes at the most. But I usually have students engage in some task with that, like note-taking or a quiz or something like that. So if you want some examples of video lessons that are kind of fitting within this description, feel free to click on these links in the slides. There's 2 examples for you that you can check out there. Another tip, and I just kind of mentioned this, I'd really encourage you to ask students to take notes or other engaging tasks. You can consider using discussion boards within Canvas, have students respond to each other as well as a teacher-directed prompt. I know many of you guys already do this. Have students take notes like I mentioned before. Try using sketch notes. It's a really engaging form of note-taking. If you've never heard of them, check out this YouTube video on our slides. The link should be viewable from there. Assign a quick quiz in Canvas for a formative check, whether it's for grading or for not for grading. It's a good way to know if students are actually absorbing the content that you provide for them. And then if you're ready to go beyond Canvas, you can go to the very last slides in our slideshow, and there's 4 links for overviews on how to use Nearpod, Edpuzzle, Screencast, which is the feature I use to record all of my videos, and then Flipgrid. All of these are really cool ways to engage students in learning from a digital platform. And they're free, which is even better. Another tip for your videos when you're making them is make sure your slides are video ready. So use visual cues to highlight key information, minimize the use of on-screen text. Don't just have these big chunks of text like this slide here. There's just too much text going on. Kids are not going to sit and take the time to read all that. Make sure it's really concise, clear. Use images to help with those visual cues. And then, of course, just be yourself. Speak in a natural conversational manner. So your students are just going to appreciate that you made your video yourself. Learn through trial and error. I mean, I stop and re-record things all the time when I make mistakes. So definitely learn through that practice and just keep trying. I like to highlight Mr. Hughes's pre-engineering courses. He does an excellent job of embedding his instructional videos with assignment instructions. So this is kind of what a typical assignment might look like. You can see that he's chunked his information by creating an underlined header, then numbered steps with a video that is attached that gives instructions as well. So that's a really effective way to create assignment instructions that students can access from home. And then just a reminder about organizing your modules. Use those dates as your headers, create links to assignments and other announcements, quizzes, etc. within that module, and feel free to toggle modules and headers in ways that make it really clear visually for students. I also wanted to remind you on how to share information, assignments, quizzes, etc., pages by importing from the Commons. So whenever you're on the home page of a course, there should be a menu on the right-hand side where it allows you to import from Commons. And you should be able to search quickly and easily for any assignment, page, module, etc. Just make sure you know the name of what you're looking for. So for example, Read and Write was a module that I created on how to use it. And sometimes it takes a little while for it to load. But once I find what I'm looking for, you'll select the title of the module. Let's see. Try this one. When I'm ready to import it, I'll click the Import and Download button. I'll choose which courses that I want to import it for, and then I'll choose Import into Course. Now, if you would like to import something that you've made without going through those extra steps of the Commons, you can quickly do that within your own Canvas courses. So I'm going to go to my sandbox, and you're going to want to go to your settings in your course. Whoops. Within your settings, you're going to choose the option to import course content. You can choose the type of content that you want. You can import a whole Canvas course. So for example, if you're bringing some of the pages and stuff over from quarter 3 into quarter 4, you can do that, or any other kind of files. But when you choose a Canvas course, you can choose specific content. You can look up the name of the course. So I'm just going to go ahead and try our Harmony Middle School staff course. You can adjust events and due dates and shift dates to a certain way, but I usually just choose to manually import individual assignments as I need them, not necessarily at all the same time. So once I've done that, I can select the specific content I need. I can choose to import the course settings. I can look more deeply at the modules by clicking that arrow button, and I can see which modules I actually want to select. Same thing for assignments, quizzes, etc. Files, you may not need to worry about so much because if it's attached to a specific page or module, it's going to be imported automatically. So I wouldn't worry about files. But definitely make sure pages, discussion topics, things that you want to repeat, and then you would click Select Content. And guys, just a helpful hint is if you're running into issues at home, I've shared my phone number with you guys. You're welcome to call me anytime if you need some additional support. But another way, if you can't get a hold of me, is to use the Canvas Support Help System. So in Canvas, on that far right menu, there is a little help icon. I prefer to go to either the Canvas chat or the hotline. You can call them there. But if you click there, you should be able to just have a digital chat with someone from Canvas, and they're very quick about responding. Wait time is usually pretty minimal. So that's one way to access some support if you can't get a hold of me over our e-learning process. And again, don't forget to check out Going Beyond Canvas if you're ready to take e-learning to the next level for your students. Thanks for watching.